3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
All right, welcome to Roots of Reality. I'm your host, Ben Baumann, and today I'm going to be talking about the history of mass extinctions. So, throughout the history of the planet, mass extinctions have occurred, wiping out the majority of life on Earth, serving as a reminder of just how fragile life is. In fact, historically, there have been 5 major mass extinctions in Earth's history that we know of, 2 of which occurred around 400 million years ago, and 2 others happened about 200 million years ago. Finally, the last mass extinction that took place happened about 66 million years ago during the Cretaceous period and was famously kick-started by an asteroid striking Earth in what some call the KT extinction. Now, all of these mass extinctions would wipe out about 70% or more of all life on Earth. Ironically, a major aspect of these extinctions includes some sort of climate change, which would help contribute to making Earth no longer a very hospitable environment to much of the life on the planet. Thus, if you think about it, then the only reason that we are here today and that you are listening to this podcast right now is because our prehistoric ancestors survived 5 mass extinctions in a row millions of years ago, which is certainly no easy feat and one we should probably be eternally grateful for. However, as a species, today we find ourselves on the cusp of another mass extinction, and once again, climate change is playing a major role. In fact, scientists estimate that up to 50% of all life on Earth could go extinct by 2100 due to a combination of climate change and habitat loss. Now, with that being said, our own species is very unlikely to go extinct, despite the promotion by some who argue that we are going to witness something like a climate apocalypse, which will erase our own species from the Earth. This is an idea that is not only pseudoscientific, but also just hurts the cause of trying to combat climate change in the first place, because ultimately it kills hope and creates unnecessary skepticism and denial of climate change in general. And this is an idea that you can find often in extremely liberal left-wing circles of politics around the world, stemming from activists who think that not only is our species going to become extinct any day now, but also that somehow vandalizing historically important works of art and museums will help promote combating climate change. Now, on the opposite end of the political spectrum, in extremely conservative circles, the issue of outright climate denial is an even bigger problem, where people either don't believe in climate change at all or just believe people have no role to play in climate change and falsely claim it is a naturally occurring phenomenon. This, of course, is highly misleading because though climate change does happen naturally throughout the Earth's history, the pace today is happening much faster than it naturally would, and this is because of our species' use of fossil fuels. And also just how much environmental havoc we wreak, tearing down forests and destroying environments of various species on Earth. Thus, like all issues in society, embracing reality is important to fixing the problems. We have to understand that climate change is not only real and human caused, but also it's not hopeless. And additionally, we have to recognize that fossil fuels need to be replaced by clean energy at a faster rate than they are currently being replaced, and that in governments around the world, especially the United States, that we continue to allow government officials to receive campaign donations from fossil fuel lobbyists to help keep these government officials in power to fund advertising, for example, for themselves, is ultimately a form of legal corruption that needs to go extinct. Because it's really hard to address one of the biggest problems we face as a society, not only today, but within this past century. It's really hard to combat such an issue when money and greed seems to be more important to a lot of politicians today. Now, despite all these problems, we also have to keep a little bit of perspective because, after all, our ancestors having survived 5 major mass extinctions, as I mentioned earlier, represents the fact that there's always hope to overcome challenges. And though things are difficult and frustrating, it's not impossible. And so with that, as always, remember, billions of years led to you, so make the most of it.